Aloha Taurus. This is your April 2016 horoscope for everyone who has their ascendant, sun or moon in Taurus. And we're shooting for the beautiful paradise place, Hawaii, the island of Maui. Yes, it is Maui. I hope you enjoyed the views and this prediction. So what's happening in April, Taurus? Well, very important thing, Mars is turning retrograde. And for you, Taurus, Mars rules your relationship. Mars rules Scorpio, which rules your relationship, partnership, business or personal, marriage, contractual relationships of any sort. And Mars will be retrograde from the middle of April, continuing up till June, or up till July actually. And this means that for a couple of months almost, 2 months and a half, something will, in regards to your relationship, what Mars rules, will have to be revisited, might slow down, for example. Because a retrograde planet requires extra efforts, requires more hard work, but also it rewards you. After it starts moving forwards again, it rewards you with more fruitful and longer lasting results in that area that it rules in your horoscope, and for you it's relationships. So you have to be extra cautious how you're approaching relationships for the next few months starting from April. A relationship from the past can come up as well, because Mars retrograde means something from the past connected to relationship comes to you. Maybe to clean up some pain from the past that you haven't reconciled, to get some closure. But it can first sharpen that conflict or that pain that you received from this relationship, and it can come to you to re-examine it again and to be able to see it from a different point of view, because retrograde planet help us see a different perspective, it from a different angle, so to speak. So you have an opportunity starting from April, especially towards the end of April, in May and June, to revise some relationships of yours, whether it's a business relationship that might come under scrutiny, that has to be re-examining the clauses of that business relationships, the responsibilities and commitments and duties of the two parties. But it can be triggered by some kind of crisis, because this is the nature of Mars. It's more crisis problem prone, that you have to resolve, that you have to deal with. Whether it's some argument with a partner, some argument with an equal peer person position, an important person in your life, whether it's spouse, committed relationship partner, or business partner. And such kind of contentions or arguments can increase, so you can solve them, because Mars not only brings problems, but it's the planet of solving problems. But it's said that when Mars is retrograde, we should not start a war. And for you in particular, Taurus, you should not start a war with another person. You should not be the one who is the attacker, because you lose that war most likely. Ancient text says when the god of war is moving backwards, don't start a war. Nowadays, it would mean, for you Taurus in particular, don't start, for example, suing someone. Don't start going into some conflict or argument with another person, you being the attacker. If someone is doing this to you, you have more chances of winning, because you are not the aggressor in that chance. Because, you know, when Mars is retrograde, it allows for the ones who is being aggressed towards, to be able to be more successful. So you can defend yourself more successfully. But again, proceed with caution. Don't throw caution to the waste. Don't take crazy decisions all of a sudden. Even though you'll be able to see this relationship, this partnership, this contract, it might be even some kind of contract, from a different perspective, or you might have to revise something there. But at the end of the process, when Mars starts moving forwards, so towards July, August, you'd have been able to resolve that complicated issue, that problem in regards to relationship, and to be able to move to a higher level with that relationship, to a more productive, more efficient level, to a more, let's say, equal base level. But initially, the first month or two, often it creates this tension, often it creates this need to sort some problems there. And Mars is also retrograde in your 8th house. We have to look not only the houses that Mars rules for you, that can go a little bit, you know, more slowed down, more complicated, more twisted in a way, that require extra effort, but also the house that Mars is retrograding in. And for you, Taurus, it's retrograding in the 8th house. And especially in April and part of May, Mars is there retrograde with Saturn, the two planets of, how do I say, they're called the two malefic planets that can create more complicated situations, that can require extra exertion and repetition and efforts in something to get it right and to master it correctly before we have the green light to proceed after that from July and August successfully. And the 8th house is connected to other people's resources. So you might have to be sorting out some problem with taxes, for example, because it's money that you owe to the government, or to solve some problem with that, to make it more efficient, to put extra efforts there, or maybe some issue with inheritance that you might have to deal with, something to do with inheritance or taxes or insurances of some sort. For example, if you work already in such an area that is connected to insurance, taxes, banking, other people's resources, equity, if you work in any way, say with other people's talents or possessions, or say you're buying produce from someone and selling it, it's other people's resources, other people's produce. So such kind of deals might get more complicated. They might require going over the points again and again. They might get warped or require you to put more attention, more military-like precision, because Mars is the planet of militarism and Saturn is the planet of perfecting something over and over. So if you're working in those spheres, it indicates that for a few months you have maybe some deadlines to meet, some extra responsibilities, extra duties, problems to sort out. But again, don't forget that a retrograde planet is 3 times more tougher, requires 3 times more efforts, but after that it gives 3 times more fruitful and longer lasting results. So by the end of this process, maybe August or September latest, you'll be able possibly to have secured some loan that's important for you, or to have sorted out a problem with taxes, or a problem with insurances, or problem with inheritances that give you long-lasting results, or to have secured maybe extra income that comes to you from another person or from another resource, which is the 8th house. 8th house also rules sexuality, and Mars retrograde there can intensify one's sexual needs and one's sexual instinctual needs and desires, and can make you look inside and think, what is it that I need sexually in my life? What is it that is missing? How can I fix it? How can I correct it? And again, it can feel a bit as a painful process, because you become more painfully aware of what's not right in regards to your sexual relationships, in regards to how you share your most private and intimate side of you. This is the 8th house. It's a very hidden, very private, very sexual house. So you might have to, to revise it, to reassess it, to change something there in order for you to be happier. Some sexual relationships might even sexual relationship from the past can come up for you to reassess those behaviors, and to change them. But also by the end of the process, if you did extra work and hard work to investigate your psychology, your deep psychological, motivations, you can have a much more satisfying, by the summer for the Northern Hemisphere, by the end of the summer, much more satisfying sexual and intimate relationships overall. So that's how this Mars retrograde can affect you. And it indeed can create certain battles, certain provocations, more intense than others, that you have to proceed with caution. Don't go crazy, don't take sudden steps and sudden decisions that you might regret after that. Research everything 2-3 times. And don't get impatient, because when Mars and Saturn are together, we tend to get very impatient and frustrated with these areas of our life. And I said it rules relationships and resources, finances, and sexual relationships and resources and finances from other people. Okay, and some kind of a power struggle might happen as well, because 8th house rules power struggles, and you'll be called to solve it more maturely. Again, don't rush, don't go writing angry emails or starting a fight or argument against someone, because it can bring long-term negative results that you're more likely to lose, But if you have to defend yourself, you'll have somehow the upper hand. And your willpower will increase as well, definitely, when the 8th house is one of our house of inner hidden resources that we have as well, that are more psychic, psychological strength, emotional strength. And you'll be asked to employ and to use those inner resources that you have, psychological resources. And by the end of this process, by July, August, you'll be much more emotionally strong person, emotionally more develop willpower as well. But some changes will be happening, because the 8th house is the house of big transformations and changes. And these changes are very much connected to relationships, because Mars rules the 7th house of relationships for you, of contracts and things like that, that you'll be going over starting from April. Okay, now what else is happening? Venus is in your second house, no, in your 12th house, Taurus, and the Sun is still in the 12th house. So it's advised not to start new beginnings before before May comes, or before the last 10 days of April. Because the 12th house is the house of endings, of dissolutions. So more it's a time, like, if possibly, to go travel or take it easy, or you might feel like less motivated to go do things on the material, tangible level. More taking it easy and escaping somehow in private pleasures, in more time alone. You might need more time alone, and it's advised to proceed like that, because then the Sun enters your sign from May sorry, from the last 10 days of April, and particularly even more intense in May, and then you get revitalized, and then you are able from the end of April and the beginning of May to start new beginnings, to get new, to get physically, to start things happening, but again with caution, because Mars is running retrograde, so again researching everything. And before that, in April, you're better off to look at the alternatives, to research things rather than jump with 2 feet, to get things going, to take time off alone, to take time for your soul, for nurturing your soul, for escape, for preparation of some sort, for research of some sort, or for taking it easy. And from the end of April, you have the green light to proceed, but again, as I said, with caution. So thank you very much, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed this prediction. Please subscribe to my channel, and also go like my Facebook page, Astrolada. I do daily horoscopes there, written ones. I post multiple articles. I post, all those things that I can't mention in a video. I post at least 7-8 different posts a day, full of amazing, interesting information, recommendations for amazing psychics and astrologers from around the world, and interesting astrological developments. Thank you so much, Taurus, and I will see you next month.